Okay, so let's start by making a magic ring with 6 single crochets in the magic ring. So first I'm going to take my yarn and wrap it up and around my pinky, behind the other 3 fingers here, and then loop it around the index finger and make an X. Hold it with your thumb, slide it off your finger, and then take your hook through the circle, and you're going to have the hook facing down and then pull it through like so. Now you're going to yarn over and pull it through, and there you have your magic ring. Now let's make 6 single crochets in the magic ring. I'm going to hold the tail and this left side of the circle and the bottom a little bit here, and I'm going to put the hook in the circle, yarn over and pull it through. Make sure you have enough slack, yarn over and pull it through the 2 loops. There's your first single crochet in the magic loop. Let's do that 5 more times. Number 2. There we go, 6 single crochet. Okay, now we're going to just pull the little tail to close the circle. Not too tight yet. We'll tighten it a bit more later. If you tighten it a lot now, it might be hard to get into that first stitch. Okay, so now we're going to do an increase in every stitch, and there should be 6. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to do an increase in each stitch, which basically means 2 single crochet in each stitch. So here we go. Here's the first one. We're going to see how it's kind of tight. So you don't want to tighten that circle too much at first. So you can just make that first single crochet here a little easier. So there's one single crochet, and we're going to do another single crochet in the same stitch. 2. And again, give a little slack. Let's go to the next one. One, and then another in that same stitch. 2. So basically we're going to have 12 stitches at the end of this because we're doubling each stitch right now. Make sure that you're breathing. Sometimes when I'm crocheting, I realize I'm getting really tense and I need to just like breathe and loosen up. And in that way, crocheting becomes kind of a meditation because you can really develop awareness about what you're doing, how you're feeling, how you're breathing. Pay attention to how your muscles feel, if they're relaxed or tense. And if you notice you're tensing up, then just breathe and relax. Just keep reminding yourself. I'm breathing. You can breathe with me. Breathing in and out. Okay, we're almost there. You can see that it could be confusing if you forget where your first stitch was. So that's why people use stitch markers, which I'll show you how to do on the next round. So let's make sure we have 12. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. Okay. Now, just so we don't lose our place, because sometimes I lose track of how many stitches I've done, we're going to use a stitch marker for the next round. So this is a stitch marker, and we're going to put that in the first stitch of our next round. So our next and third round is going to be 12 single crochets. So 1 single crochet in each stitch. We'll end up with 12. So here's the first one. That's the first single crochet. And I'm going to put my stitch marker here so I know that that is the beginning of my first stitch in the third round. Okay, so we're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch. Remember to breathe. Remember to keep your stitches not too tight, not too loose. Find that Goldilocks, just right amount of tension. Okay, so that should be 12 because we've gotten to our stitch marker, and let's count. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Perfect. At this point, we're going to pull this tail a little bit more to close the ring tighter. So here's how you do it. Pull this string, and you can see that hole closes up like so. Now we're going to flip this so that the right side is out. So this is actually the side that doesn't look quite as pretty. You can see like these little horizontal lines. So we're going to flip it so that the right side is out. And that is the first cap of your heart. So if you look at this heart, it's basically this part right here. We're going to make another one of these in the same way. But first, for this first heart, we're going to fasten off. So let me just remove this stitch marker. And then to fasten off, you're basically just going to put the hook in here and tighten it a little bit. And then yarn over and pull it through. And then make it a little bit longer. Get your scissors and just cut here. Pull it all the way through, tighten it just a bit. Okay, and that's going to be your first cap. And we're going to do that one more time. I'm going to cut this extra string here because we don't need it. The one that was from the very beginning when we made the loop. And we'll do one more of those, but we are not going to fasten off and cut the next one. We're going to keep the yarn intact and attach it to this one. And then we're going to flip it so that the other side is on the outside, just like we did on that first little cap. And now we're ready to join the two caps together. So I'm going to remove this stitch marker. Okay, so again, here's the second cap that I was working on. Here's the first cap. And I trimmed that so it wasn't going to be in the way. And I'm going to put this hook into the first stitch of the next round. So as you can see, if you look closely, the last stitch in the most recent round went into this hole. So I'm going to put the hook into the next stitch, like so. Okay, then you're going to yarn over and pull it through the first 2 pieces of yarn, and then yarn over again, and then pull it through those 2 loops. Okay, so now we're going to single crochet all the way around both pieces. So 1 single crochet in each stitch. So we did the first one, and we're going to go to the second one. Okay, that's your second. Put it in this 12th stitch. There we go. Now we're going to go into the next stitch on this other cap. So let me just count, make sure everything looks right. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, perfect. So single crochet, like so. Okay, I'm just going to count and make sure we have 24 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Perfect. And next we're going to do a single crochet in each stitch. So we're going to end up with 24 again. So as you can see, this one already has a stitch in it. So I'm going to go to this one. This is going to be my first single crochet in this row. And I'm actually going to put a stitch marker in this first stitch to mark the beginning of this row. And then that way I don't have to get confused about where I started. So now we're going to do 23 more. I'm not an expert crocheter. I actually only started about 3 weeks ago. And I started because my sister bought me a crochet kit to make a little animal, a little narwhal animal, and it was so cute. It was a Woobles kit, and I really loved it, and I just started making different animals and learning about different shapes, watching other tutorials online, and it's been really fun. My sister gave me the kit because I was recovering from surgery. I actually was diagnosed with breast cancer last year, and I went through 5 months of chemotherapy, which was a difficult time, not as bad as I thought it was going to be. But after my chemo, I started to have, actually during the last month of chemo, I started to have some growth in the tumor again, even though it had been shrinking for 4 months, responding really well to the chemo. all of a sudden it started growing again, which was a bit scary. So we canceled the last chemo session and ended up getting a kind of an urgent mastectomy. And as I was recovering from that mastectomy, that's when my sister gave me the crochet kit so that I could do something fun to keep myself busy and do something that I could do while in recovery. And I loved it. It was really sweet of her to do that. And it was a really nice way for me to keep my mind and my hands busy and to just create really beautiful and adorable things that made me smile. Okay, so we've done 24 single crochets. And as you can see, because of the stitch mark, it made it really easy to know when to stop. Next, we're going to do 4 single crochets, and then we're going to decrease. I'm going to repeat that pattern for this next round. So here's the first single crochet. This is 1. And I'm going to put my stitch marker here. And then I'm going to do 3 more single crochets and then a decrease. So I did 4 single crochets. Now we're going to do a decrease. So you're going to put it through the next stitch, yarn over, pull it through, and then go to the next one, yarn over, pull it through, and then yarn over and pull it through all 3 loops. And basically what we just did was we combined 2 stitches into 1, so we're making the pattern, we're making the form a little bit smaller. That's the next round. So you can see that this heart, each row is going to get a little smaller until the heart forms a V at the bottom. So for the next round, we're going to do 3 single crochets and then a decrease, and we're going to repeat that all the way around. So we have 20 stitches, and then after this next round, we should have 16 stitches. Now you might be able to guess what's happening in this next round. Since we're getting smaller, now we're going to do 2 single crochets and then a decrease. It's really satisfying when you end up with the right number of stitches in the end. Okay, so after that we should have 12 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. Now we're going to do 1 single crochet and 1 decrease. My nails are not dirty. I know they look dirty in the video, but it's actually, they got discolored when I was going through chemo. They turned really dark and got these like lines and spots on them. So if you're wondering what's up with her nails, that's what's up. Oops, I forgot. Okay. And so you want it to feel like there's stuffing in there, but it's not like super firm or anything. There we go. That feels pretty good. And then let's do our last round. We're going to decrease in every stitch here. So let me reset my yarn and we'll go in. And we'll decrease. And let me just put this little guy in here. And we're going to now take our scissors. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to fasten off. So I'm going to chain 1, like so, pull it through a little bit, get my scissors and just cut the tail and pull it all the way through. And then we're going to just tighten it a bit and then take our needle and we're going to thread the needle through each front loop of that last round, okay? And the front loop is the loop that's closest to you. We're going to put it through the front loop of each stitch, and that's just going to tighten it all up. Okay, then you're going to hide the string, the yarn tail, in the body. So you're just going to put it through somewhere. And we're going to cut the end off. So I'm going to pull it a little bit, cut the end off, and then it's just going to disappear inside. And there you have it, an adorable amigurumi heart. It's not perfect. There's some like little spots where the holes are a little bigger because I didn't pull that tight, but it's still super cute. So as you get better, you'll learn to make your stitches a little bit more consistent so that it looks, you know, like this and not as many like bigger holes like that. But it's all part of the learning process. Here's a few more that I made. And if you want to learn how to make a little face like this, boop, then stay tuned for the next video. You can find it in the description below. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for crocheting with me, and let's do it again soon. Have a magical day.